welcome to week 4 of Effort Posting Weekly. You're here with your hosts Nietzsche and Infinite Zero.
Hey.
We're here to bring you the latest in, political news from all over the world, as well as our trademark Effort Posting. And also, you might have noticed that we didn't actually have week 3, and that's because we kind of never finished it. And we just weren't able to upload it in time, so you'll get a little bonus week 4.1 video in like the next couple of days or so.
Yeah, well, we can't have odd numbers. I mean, there's no week 1, just it doesn't exist, and week 2, and then week 3 is. So that's basically like week 4 DLC. So I need to come up with a reason why week 5 can't exist as well.
Oh, I'm sure we can figure one out. Maybe we'll lose it again, or not, or maybe we just don't do odd numbers.
I accidentally magnetized my hard drive and now I can't find it. I burnt it onto a CD, then I threw it into a tree.
We actually recorded it on a tape recorder, and then I recorded static over the top.
I wonder how much it'd cost to get a vinyl press of the podcast.
Oh my god! Well, it would need to be at least like 2 or 3 LPs to fit the amount of stuff that we talk about on there.
Double-sided.
Well, they're all double-sided.
12-inch double-sided. It comes in a set of 50.
No,
it's like ordering Windows 7 on floppy disks and you get a fucking crate of them.
You get about 3,000.
I'd almost want to do that just for the meme. I already have Windows 7. I've got it on CD and I think I have a USB somewhere. I don't know, but I'll find an old floppy disk and somehow hook it up and then just to install Windows 7 on floppy.
Oh, I mean, at best it's a paperweight.
Yeah,
really good floppy disk paperweight.
Don't copy that floppy.
Alright, so I think we'll get straight into it, and we'll start off in Europe because there has been some good uncucking and there has been a fair bit of cucking, and I think we'll start with the cucking, and I think that primarily occurred in Austria because our guy lost the election.
Yeah, I know. I've sort of been following the election, just looking at stuff like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. You know, there's election. Oh, it turns out that the left can't. There's weird postal vote errors in certain like provinces or states or whatever. They've given like 110% of the vote to this person, to the left candidate, and who also has a very echoey name, I think.
Yeah. Let's see. Who is this guy?
I mean, it's also. The problem is, it's like, is that an echoey name, or is it just a German or Austrian or whatever?
Yeah, so the Prime Minister of Austria is his name Alexander Van der Bellen? No.
No.
I don't know.
I know. I don't care. Austria hasn't been relevant since the 1940s when it was top quality. Make Austria-Hungary again.
I think we'll find out just how bad this result is by how nicely the media is reporting on it, and an article from one of our own government stations, SBS, which is a shitty broadcasting service for the guys who don't know what that is.
I think that SBS they just made a new channel. It's Vice, or Viceland.
Yeah, and they
just
have,
SBS. I don't know whether I think they replaced one of the channels, like SBS 2 or whatever, with that.
They replaced SBS 2 with that. Ugh.
Then again, SBS isn't like the only reason. The only thing I ever watch on SBS is like cooking shows, just because Guy Fieri's on it sometimes.
They have an Aboriginal only TV channel.
And ITV is so fucking hilarious. Like there are ads that are legitimately don't sleep on the road.
The content on there is terrible as well. Like a lot of the time they spend playing cartoons for little children. It's this whole segment called Jar Jums, whatever the fuck that is. It sounds like I don't know. It sounds like what they call a butt disease. Hey mate, you caught the Jar Jums.
I mean, you think, oh, this is really funny, and it's ironic good, but then there's people that they believe in all of that stuff, and they think, oh no, Aboriginals are treated so unfairly, and they deserve to have all of the country given back, and we should all leave and give them $6 billion. in like compensation or whatever. 6 girlion kilos of, I don't know, fucking E10 petrol.
How bad of us to bring society into Australia, huh?
All of these evil British convicts coming into this land of nothing and leaving behind this horrible civilization.
But
Ew.
hey, I know how we'll fix things for them. We'll give them a TV station of their own. That'll do it, huh?
But then, like, this is funny. But then you realize, oh no, they're getting government funding, and it's literally just indoctrination. But I know they've had to. What kind of populace do you need to create petrol that you're not is specifically made that you don't sniff? Like, if you've got a population that like sniffs petrol or like drinks methylated spirits, then something's fucked up.
Yeah.
Like they put bittering agents in methylated spirits specifically so people don't drink it, and it's like because like I know a young child might drink it, or I know someone who's fucking retarded might drink it because it's got ethanol in it. It's just vodka. Methanol's fine. It's ethanol, but it's got menthol in it, so it's minty.
It's just a cheap pie, mate.
Yeah, don't worry about blindness or anything. But so we'll put some bittering agents so like your body will naturally throw it up.
Fuck me, liver's cactus.
Don't worry, I'll just filter it through some bread. Like, people legitimately do that just to get... It doesn't get rid of the methanol, it just kind of gets rid of the bittering agent. So it's still just as poisonous, but it doesn't taste as bad.
I reckon it's like the help is there for them if they actually want it, but they don't seem to want it because they're perfectly content to just be like, fucking Whitey screwed us over a couple of 100 years ago. We don't actually want to fix it or anything. We're just content to, I don't know, just leech off society.
I'm fine with me. If it was something like, refugees, or if it was like, the Lebos that were, drinking petrol, I'm fine to fucking send them back. But, with the Aboriginals, like, have to address the AQ, and they could just fuck it. They could just, I'd be perfectly fine if they just had all of Northern Territory. They pretty much already do. But if it's just, you have all of this, we have no, you give them, independence or whatever, they can use their own, shitty flag.
I just thought of something, how they've got, the whole, the leaf behind every shit post. Just thinking of the Aboriginal behind every petrol bowser.
Just bring a fucking bendy straw and put it in the pump. That's all good. Keep my E85 on ice. Oh god. There are stories and stuff where Aboriginals, they have metho that's been chilled. Well, methylated spirits is metho, but they keep it in a fridge. And people come in and buy in stores, and that people come in and buy chilled methylated spirits.
Metho on the rocks.
Got gin martini, vodka martini, metho martini. So I like to have a half ounce of sweet vermouth and just pour some metho in, swish it around. She'll be right.
Yeah, don't worry with the wedge of lemon or anything. I like to drink it straight.
I just use lime for that. It's quick lime. It's all right.
Okay, I think we got completely off topic there. How do we even get onto that? I don't remember.
I think, from SBS, that's right.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, we need to actually talk about the article now.
Yeah.
Well, basically, the way we know that it's a bad thing is because German Foreign Minister Frank-Walter Steinmeier said the far right defeated Austria's presidential election was a good omen for Europe.
Probably says the influx of refugees is perfectly fine because we need more working age people to do all the jobs that no one wants to do. It's fine, don't worry, those teenagers that would usually get those entry-level jobs so they can get experience or money or whatever, we just give it to the refugees.
Well, I guess it must be a good omen too that one of the EU officials' daughters was raped and murdered by an Afghan migrant as well. Hey,
raped and murdered by an Afghan migrant a month ago.
Wow, he chose a whitey, huh? Race mixing is working. How good is this? He pumped and dumped her in a river. Ugh.
No motive found.
It's not the culture. He was just desperate.
And then again, there have been stories
He had
where
to leave his goat behind.
there have been stories where like migrants have like raped people. I don't know where it is. It was either in Germany or I don't know, London or whatever. But someone was raped, but the person they either got like a smaller sentence, or I don't think they got off free, because that would be I don't know whether any Western country has sunk that low to like just let people off, but they got a lower sentence just because apparently that where he came from, he didn't know that rape was bad.
Oh, here we go. This is an article I was remembering over.
Yeah, I've seen this one.
Norwegian politician raped by asylum seeker says he feels guilty that his attacker will now be deported because the man might suffer back in Somalia.
Is he Norwegian or is he like Swedish living in Norway?
Norway, yes.
I thought Norway. I mean, then again, like I'm taking this advice from Nat, so like Norway's like, oh, Norway is the last bastion of the Scandinavian hope, because Sweden is pretty much dead and Finland is just China anyway. It doesn't really matter. And then,
there you go.
I know Denmark, relevant, haha.
The guy who was raped, young socialist left party member, feminist, anti-racist, faggot.
Heterosexual male rape victim and subsequently self-medicate with alcohol and cannabis.
Of course, that'll fix it, won't it?
Yeah, just smunk weed.
And just the white guilt is so strong that I feel bad for my attacker getting sent back. It's like, it's like, if he goes back to Somalia, suddenly it's not him who's doing the raping. He's gonna get raped. Aww. If they weren't deporting him, I'd let him stay with me. My wife's son moved out, so we've got a spare bedroom.
My wife's mulatto son.
Oh, okay. But yeah, that actually. So about this girl who was raped and murdered. It actually happened back in October, but I only saw news about it this morning because they finally made an arrest. She was riding home from a party or something, like mid-October. She was raped, and then he killed her and dropped her in a river. And apparently that's somewhat of a hot spot because another person was found around that area as well, who had been raped and murdered. I don't know what kind of sentence they're going to give to this Afghan migrant. He's just, really, really unfortunate, sexually desperate. Maybe she didn't have her...
They're just going to lower his monthly payments by a couple €100.
Yeah, I think it might actually be that girl's fault. Was she wearing her rape whistle?
Did she tell him no in Arabic?
Does he even know what no means?
What's the word for ficky in Arabic? Or in Somali? What was he, Somali or Arabic?
Afghan.
Oh yeah, so
he jumps out of the bushes. Ficky. But okay. Again, back to this Austrian election, and more of this German Foreign Minister Kuck. He said that in this particular situation that Europe is facing, we are urgently in need of good news.
Sorry, you continue talking. I gotta take a phone call.
Yeah, alright. Just urgently in need of good news, he says, because apparently the Brexit decision and mounting pressure by populist and nationalist forces are a bad thing. Now, maybe they're not noticing that, people are choosing these things because they're tired of bullshit that the people like him are actually coming up with and peddling as well. And also the circumstances surrounding Austria's election are pretty suspicious. So, I have a feeling that it was probably somewhat orchestrated. But again, I'll have to do further reading, and if I find out more about it, then we'll cover it in the future or maybe later on. But I just I think they are losing their grip, and I think it's a really good thing that they are. But it's like they're going to keep on making last-ditch efforts for this kind of victory, or even just to snatch the last few things that they can get. It's suddenly becoming this crazy race to the top because the right is gaining momentum, which is a really good thing. And it's like it's kind of initially it caught the left off guard, especially with Brexit, but now with Trump's victory, I guess they're recognizing that the left is gaining. The left is recognizing that the right has gained traction, and so they're going to do their best to demoralize us through like media propaganda, as we discussed last week, calling out the alt-right in order to try to get us to denounce it, and which has already happened with, how could you forget Cernovich, Paul Joseph Watson. They're going to do everything they can to portray the right as, well, like more so than they already have. They're going to do the absolute most they can to portray the right and the alt-right as, racist and all this other shit that they talk about. And even to the point that the media will compare them to neo-Nazis, and that actually happened. It was a video that was put out in the United Kingdom. They're connecting nationalist movements. Like this was a video I think from the Telegraph. They are connecting nationalist movements, especially Brexit, with neo-Nazis. Like they're actually trying to draw direct parallels to that, and how they're doing it is there is a group named National Action in the United Kingdom, and a certain spokesman, he's facing trial for inciting racial hatred because he's obviously hurt their feelings so much so that they're going to try to throw him in jail for hate crimes. And all right, welcome back, man.
I'm back. Sorry, that was just work calling.
Yeah.
If it was anyone else, I'd ignore it. But
yeah. I'm just discussing. I don't know if you saw this video, but it was the Telegraph put out a video, and they're trying to like draw a parallel between Brexit and neo-Nazis, like they're one and the same thing. And the way they're doing that, basically, like, first they covered Jack Renshaw, who's like the spokesman for this group named National Action, and they're like right-wing extremists or some shit like that.
When I say National Action, they are fairly right-wing. Like they're more right-wing than like I don't know, Pegida or whatever.
But I mean, of course,
Pegida is, I don't know, that's Germany, but they've got branches.
Racial hatred, he called for Jews to be eradicated and said that Hitler's only fault was to show mercy to people who did not deserve mercy.
Oh, he's one of our. Is he our guy?
I think he's our guy, but he's probably going to get thrown into jail for this. And another thing he said was, we need to learn from the mistakes of the National Socialists. No, you do not show the Jew mercy.
Yeah.
It's like, well, obviously, everything he's saying is perfectly valid. Like, I mean, they are probably in charge of pretty much everything.
No, I mean, it's not like Hitler did anything wrong.
I honestly don't know if he did.
Yeah, I mean,
be perfectly
he
honest.
Didn't kill. Like, what's he talking about Hitler killing Jews? He didn't kill any of them.
Yeah, and honestly, like all he really wanted. Oh shit! Sorry, that ruined the moment. But I hate you, iTunes. Why would you open a WAV file in iTunes? But all Hitler really wanted...
The perfect lampshade.
Yeah, he decided, oh no, I guess this painting thing isn't working out. I'm going to get into homemade arts and crafts. Gonna open a stall at like the weekly markets, gonna sell some like scented candles and soap. 100% handmade.
The Jews just didn't like that it was undercutting them and they weren't making enough profit.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not using all these products and things. If I make it home, and he found a new secret recipe that can save him lots of money on making soap, like on a decently large scale, but like fairly cheaply and using ingredients he already had.
Jews hate him. Find out how this one art student created soap on a mass scale with this one simple trick. Yeah,
they said, oh no, Auschwitz was a death camp or a work camp or concentration camp. No, it was a factory. That's why they were taking their shoes off and stuff. You know, you didn't want them to track mud inside.
Of course.
It's gonna make the ground all dirty. Make the soap bad. You gotta have the area nice and clean.
All right. So anyway, I never really mentioned just how they connected this this video, like this group to Brexit, or how they connected Brexit to neo-Nazism. But the way they did that is basically by saying that the group have adopted a slogan by Thomas Mair, the man who killed Joe Cox, saying, "Death to traitors, freedom for Britain." But I don't remember him. Did he say that? Because I remember there was a bit of like a shitstorm around when he killed her back in June or something, and they're like, did he shout out Brexit? Did he?
I've seen stories where he either said like, I know, Britain first or Brexit or whatever. But then I've seen stories where apparently like his family said that he was apolitical and like he just was crazy. But then, like after the trial where like he was found guilty, there was like all I think it was like I don't know, Sky News or Guardian or whatever. I can't really remember, and I don't really care. They were saying it's like neo-Nazi, killer of left political member Joe Cox, like right-wing extremist murderer.
He became that whole scapegoat, didn't he? Because they're like, oh yeah, we raided his apartment, we found neo-Nazi propaganda or something like that. So I think, well, Brexit is... Well, I'm worried that it's dead in the water at the moment. Like, it hasn't been rejected, but...
It is the year 2032. Neo-Arabic London has succeeded in taking over the caliphate. Article 50 still has not been triggered.
It's 2032. The last white child was born 5 years ago. It's going to happen, you know.
I think it's like the most popular name for all babies in London is Muhammad.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't it the most? It's like the number one baby name in the world now.
Yeah.
Well, actually has been for a while.
Yeah, it's always been the most popular name just because there's so many fucking Arabs that name their child specifically Muhammad.
Fucking Muhammads.
But in London, I think now it is.
God.
I think in the US, I'm not entirely sure, but I think there were more non-white children born than white children born this year.
Apparently, there are more whites dying in most United States states.
Like
than are being
the
born.
population is rising, but the white population is going down.
The white population is dying out.
It's like average children per person is like 1.8 or something, whereas like replacement rate is I think 2.1.
Because you've got these people, they're like, well, I'm white, but I'm not going to have children because I don't want them to inherit white privilege. So it's like, I'm just going to instead contribute to like this self-imposed white genocide.
Yeah. If you've got something like some, I don't know, genetic disorder or whatever, then I could sort of see like I don't want to have children pass down this debilitating disease or whatever. That sort of makes sense, but I don't know. I might be able to cure it, but I don't know. If it's like you've got Down syndrome or whatever, then you just I don't know, go behind the shed and just pop a cap in the back of the head. Like old yellow. But if you're just doing it because if it's something like, oh, I don't want to have kids because kids is hard work and I'm gonna have me time. But if I need pregnancy leave, but because I'm not pregnant, I just want some. All these pregnant women and people with mums with kids and stuff, they're getting all this time off. That's mean. I want some time off.
Well, there is that whole, I don't want to have kids just because it hurts. Like, I know a lot of girls, they're saying that. That's their number one reason. Like, well, you do realize there are cesareans, like...
if you really want to care, if you really, like, care about, it's like... of course it will hurt. It's like pregnancy. It's not gonna like phase through and like it'll be oh no, it's easy, it's fine. But just like I don't know, if it's really that bad, just I don't know, take painkillers or whatever. But it's like one day or like a week or it's a like if you're counting like the whole pregnancy and then like sickness or whatever, it be like a year, and then like the first few years of the child's life are going to be hell because you have to raise a child. But then you've got a child.
It's like-
Congratulations, you've created life.
Yeah, and number one, there's this white guilt bullshit where, like I said, people don't want to pass on white privilege, whatever that means. That's it. I hate this idea of racial privilege. Like, okay, even if there was white privilege, we as the white race actually deserve the privilege. Like,
I thought, what? It's like, oh no, white privilege is a thing, but genetic differences in IQ is not. Fucking pick one. Like, I'm fine with, like, if, white privilege is just the fact that whites have a higher IQ on average. But then you could say, what about Asian privilege or Jewish privilege or, I don't know, it's like, it's black privilege because there's a lot of blacks in sports. It's like, no one fucking says that.
White privilege is a thing you say as there are, like, more scholarships that are being given out to, like, people of colour.
Yeah, it's like
these
when I was
days.
looking through scholarships for uni applications, like, it's either, like, there are a few that are, like, they're not made for whites, but it's high academic performance, so it's pretty much whites and Asians that get it, because Australia, there's a fair amount of Jews in the media, but there isn't really that many, like, Jews in the actual population.
No, I haven't actually interacted with any Australian who identifies as a Jew.
I've talked to people that say they know, like, I know Jews or whatever, but it's mostly like, this American friend that's Jewish or whatever. But all the Jews that I've spoken to have just been on poll. But I mean, the only Jews that really have are, like, I don't know, everyone in the media and the government.
Yeah, because no doubt, like, all these multinational media corporations have Jewish interests and things like that.
But I think what I was saying was the scholarships. Yeah, the scholarships are either, like, high academic performance, or it's like they give, like, scholarships if you're, like, a refugee, or if you're an Aboriginal, or if you're like a woman, or if you've got. I think some of them have like disability or whatever, but I can't claim that on my autism.
But that's on top of
Like
everything else we give them. Like,
It's your scholarship. You get one bag of Ovaltine and some tendies every day.
and a good boy point supplement.
You can get your autism brush.
and 4chan pass.
Trying to type that captcha, it's too hard.
It bans me with a proxy on the side of a pass.
I don't want to go to. Just if you buy the don't buy the pass, because then you're giving money to Hiroshima and he's, like, fucking horrible.
Oh, he was
Or
trying.
just don't even use 4chan. Just use, like, 8chan poll or whatever.
Of course, I remember when he was trying to sell 4chan again. Remember, like, he got the offers from Marcus Persson and Kim.com.
Martin Shkreli.
Oh yeah, I wish Shkreli bought
I would like be, like, fine if Shkreli bought it, because then it's like, okay, I don't know. I don't know whether it even go on 4chan anymore, but it's just like, it is finally, like, the cycle has ended. Martin Shkreli has bought 4chan, and he probably, I don't even know whether he'd do it to get money or whatever. He'd do it to just, like, as a meme. It's like, so he can have on his LinkedIn profile, owner of 4chan.
Yeah,
I bought it.
it's like, how when Trump won the election, he released all that music as well. Like, imagine if he bought.
Yeah, it's like how much did he spend on that album? Like, it was several $1 million, and it's like, oh yeah, if Trump wins the election, I'll just release it for free. Don't care.
Yeah, and just remember if, imagine if he bought it before the election. He's like, if Trump wins the election, I'll let Hiroshima out of his cuck shed.
I don't know, but then it's like, oh, I'm losing money on 4chan every day because people are using ad block or whatever. They don't want to see J-list ads.
I wonder why not.
But then it's like, I think people on 8chan or whatever, they went through and, like, the amount that he's saying bandwidth costs for him is, unless he's, like, completely retarded, is wrong. Like, it is way too much.
Yeah, like, for a triple bracket, we're getting so-called unlimited space and unlimited bandwidth, and it's fairly cheap. Like,
And then again, like, the people visiting triple bracket I doubt it'd be as much as 4chan.
yeah, but still, I mean, even then,
It's going to be higher because they have, like, they'd have to have, like, specific, like, 4chan servers.
Hiroshima's just like, I don't know.
But even, like, I don't know. Wasn't he, like, kicked off 2chan for, like, stealing data?
I don't know. I don't know much about him. I just, am I admin now?
But then again, quote Moot, I fucking hate Australians.
I remember Osmoot, did you see that? Like when someone actually got into Moot's admin access just so he could find someone who was trolling him and ban them.
Shit posting to the top degree.
I mean, Australians are the best at it, honestly. Like no one else has ever impersonated Moot and taken his account over, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, we hold.
I mean, the best shit poster of them all is Julian Assange, top meme.
Have we heard from him in a while? Like recently?
He's dead.
Yeah.
Confirmed dead.
Oh, well, yeah.
Assange is dead.
Well, according to Alex Jones, yeah.
The war on your mind. Buy my water filter. I can't do it, Alex Jones.
Back in the conditioning.
Yeah, you just need to yell. Like, yell through clenched teeth. And then, like, rip your shirt off.
I'm human.
I have a heart and it's big.
I'm coming.
I'm coming. But I sometimes I watch him, but what I don't like is when he interrupts people and he just goes on this 5-minute rant and makes noises.
Some of these things are all right. Like if you replace a globalist with a Jew, which I mean it's pretty much the same thing, then it's like, oh, the globalists are running everything for their own benefit, and they control the media, and they run and they get government support from everyone, and they get the media to tell people who to vote for, and that's why they didn't want to get Trump, because he's anti-globalist. But then it's like, oh, the alt-right is it's not neo-Nazis, it's fine, and then I don't know. Mainstream media.
I actually had the pleasure of watching some of some of his sponsored movies. One of them was called Amerigeddon.
What?
He sells them on his store, and
Don't say you bought it.
whoops. And it was just some interesting evening viewing, and it was basically like, okay, I'm going to turn my, he turned his whole. The United States is importing UN peacekeeping vehicles and weaponry and troopers, and like suddenly, it starts off and basically it shows that the military is doing drills in civilian settings, and it's like, whoa, there's this one guy, he's like, whoa, we're getting like a bit too, involved with the general public here, and like there's this German guy and he's got this really thick accent, he's like, you do not ask any questions. It's like he's a UN army leader, and he's like basically he's a pretty one-dimensional villain. Like he's just a bad guy, and so basically suddenly martial law is declared. And this guy and his unit are deployed to some place, but this guy like, nah, you know what, I disagree. And so he gets in this fight or whatever. Like first he records this UN bloke and the leader of his unit, and then basically he hears that it's just like, yes, we're going to send them all to FEMA camps.
Don't worry, well, the fluoride in their water is taking over their mind. Chemicals in the water make the frogs gay.
But basically it's like, yeah, you know what, we're going to round them up and send them to FEMA camps. So this guy's just like, nope. And he pulls a gun and like gets in a fight with these leaders or whatever, and he escapes to his family or something, and like his family hunkers down in this house, and they've just got like, yeah, fuck yeah, Second Amendment, and it's full of guns, and they're like, basically,
don't worry about food. I ordered my like InfoWars life supply 1 year of fucking like dried grain and whatever. I've got 15 years worth of super male vitality. I'll never die.
And so they hunker down. They've got a helicopter for some reason. Like, look, honestly, it's an okay movie. Like, I know I'm shitting on it because it's just fun. But it's an okay movie. But basically, like, the last half an hour or so of the film is just this fight scene between this family, like this army guy, and the UN. And like, so they go to his house, like they roll up in their tanks and whatever, and suddenly it's like they're all popping out at different places and shooting him down, and like they have a helicopter gunfight as well, and like the movie basically ends. So sorry, I'll go back. I'll backtrack a little bit. There's this gunfight on their property. Like the UN guy rolls up and he's like, you know, he broke rank. He's a dysentery committed. He committed like a federal crime by going against his orders, and so like they get in a firefight right there, and the UN guy escapes obviously because the bad guy can't just die.
Yeah.
He gets in a helicopter and I think they're going to try and shoot the whole place with like a minigun or whatever. But the house has got a helicopter as well, so like the whole movie ends with like this perfectly timed thrown grenade from one helicopter into another to take the UN guy down. And that's how the movie ends. It's like suddenly, bam, globalists are dead.
Wait, does it really end with that?
No, it doesn't say globalists are dead, but it just ends bam,
I
and
wish.
someone's like, okay, well, I guess that's over.
I almost want to watch that. I mean, then again, it'd be better than like I don't know whatever's fucking coming out of Hollywood now.
Yeah. Well, Hacksaw Ridge was good.
Hacksaw Ridge, yeah, that was actually really good. So, because I mean, it's World War II, but they're not fighting the Nazis, so it's fine. It's only partially controlled by Jewish.
And you get to see the gooks getting shot.
Yeah, I'm all down with that.
Yeah, like I remember that joke we made. What was it? How to get them out of the property market.
Yeah, because it's. I mean, if you've ever been to Sydney, then it's. I mean, there's Chinatown at Sydney, but Sydney is pretty much just all Chinatown. I mean, especially like in the cities, there's like the one of the theaters that I went to a while ago, saw some musical, I think. Those fucking signs are
Disney
in
on Ice. Shrek the musical.
I wish it was like Les Miserables or something like that.
Oh.
Some fucking French. Well, we'll take down the evil Nazis that are controlling us because they're all bad, and we need a French Revolution. Trust
Wait,
me.
you saw Les Mis?
Yeah.
Oh, I never saw that. I couldn't be bothered. It just seemed like
It was
such a-
alright, but there's too much. The singing was good. I just don't like music. I
It
just
seemed
don't
like
like.
such an over-the-top, pompous
Yeah.
production.
Lay Deplorable is just because of that. Then it was worth it.
Yeah.
But anyway, the theater, they had signs in English and Chinese. It's like, what?
God.
Like I mean, then again, I guess I'm used to like. I mean, other countries that are like not that don't speak English as a first language. Like I mean, most of the ones in Europe, they've got signs in English as well. But that's because I don't know. English is like it's everywhere. Like most big countries speak like. I mean, the UK isn't, I don't know, as powerful as it was, but like America is still a superpower, and you know they speak English. So you know, if you want to trade with America, you speak English.
All right. Well, we got pretty off topic there. So I think we could finish up this all this comparing Brexit to neo-Nazis video that I saw. And the one last point that I'd like to make is that of all people, Antifa groups are the ones that are warning about increasingly violent neo-Nazis.
Oy vey.
Like, I didn't realize that, that the Antifa groups are actually like involved in peacekeeping, because the only ones that I've seen are really violent.
Do they think that they're like that? I don't know. Do they think like the media is against them because they're acting it's like, oh, I need to put a mask on so they don't know our identity. Like they're fucking paid by the state. Like, they are basically okay. So we've got some people protesting like, oh no, there's people like marching against refugees coming in or whatever. Hey, Shlomo, could you like pay those Antifa people? Pay the goyim to go in and like hit them with baseball bats. Like if it was a one-on-one fight and they beat them, then that's pretty bad, because I mean you should be able to beat them up because they're all scrawny or really overweight. But they're not even like fighting like they'll fight Trump supporters or Pegida or whatever. They're not even fighting them fair. It's like a 6-on-1 and they're just dogpile.
I absolutely fucking hate the idea of like these Antifa groups as well, because they'll declare war on anyone who they think is a fascist, and then suddenly they get the support of like the entire left as well. It's like, okay, we're actually the militant left, and we're going to go out and like firebomb your house or beat you with a baseball bat or something like that.
You're not like they're acting again. They're acting like they're a revolutionary movement. And everyone is against them. Everyone should be against them because they're retarded.
Yeah, they're like, they all act like martyrs as well.
Deport fascism.
And the reason I brought this up as well, like these whole Antifa groups, is because on my Facebook feed, I've actually been seeing a lot of people posting about like how much they hate fascists. Like it's just been coming up, and like these are all people that identify as libertarian left.
How does like libertarian? Tell like you should just like the best argument against libertarian left is like lol, this doesn't exist.
It literally doesn't. It just can't.
I mean, like I know that my understanding of left and right wing is a bit, I don't know, it's all shit that I looked up on like random websites, like difference between left and right wing, because I don't know the difference mostly, but it's like what I understand is like left wing is more government like control and power and like less left wing, like you have to have a large government because it's like more social services and more sort of higher taxes to have like there's more societal help from the government.
Honestly,
and then right wing is like
define the left as like the closer you get to the left, like the closer you are to being like completely communist.
Yeah, it's like libertarian requires small, like either no government low government oversight. Like I guess, and I know you could like left libertarian would require a large government with social benefits and whatever. So therefore, like fairly high taxes or whatever.
You can't.
And
force
then
it's like suddenly you get to libertarian left, you try to have like a libertarian left state, and then suddenly it's like, okay, well, we need to share all of our assets, distribute the means of production equally or whatever. But how do you coerce people into doing that? The answer is you can't unless you have some kind of government. Therefore, libertarian left suddenly becomes authoritarian left because socialism always becomes communism. It's like, you can't rely on people to be like that.
Yeah, like social, like it theoretically can, like communism is just fucking dumb because I mean communism works while you've still got people to starve. Whereas like socialism can sort of work because at least then you have businesses.
What do you mean? It's post-scarcity.
Oh, trust me, guy. It's fine. We'll just like grow corn all day. Like, I don't know. I think the best saying I've heard for about like the difference between like communism and I know I'm not too fond. Like capitalism is like it works, but it's prone to getting run by Jews because it is, but it's better than communism because at least you can have a country that like doesn't crumble immediately. It just like slowly decays. But it's like in like capitalism, you wait for bread. Communism, capitalism, bread waits for you. Communism, like you wait for bread.
Yeah.
Like you like.
Or
here's your monthly bread ration. Like bread. Like here's like a bread roll for like. Do people that support communism realize that most people that lived under communism they're either dead or they don't want communism?
Yeah, actually, that was makes me remember the really good the post by someone who lived in the USSR. His name was like Gary Kasparov or something like that, and he just detailed getting lectured by Bernie Sanders supporters on how great socialism is, but they failed to understand that he actually understands socialism and communism better than they ever will.
Like, I know, I feel like socialism could possibly work, but only if it'd only work if every single person like agrees with it, and every single person like they all find work for each other. And I mean that only really works if you've got an all-white workforce or an all-white populace.
But you know what?
So only socialism is national socialism.
Like suddenly we could get even more extreme libertarian left, and you know what that gives us? Right at the bottom left corner, anarcho-communism.
Anarcho-communism is like,
A literal oxymoron.
it doesn't make sense. It's like giant prawns.
It's like,
That's not a giant prawn. It's a lobster.
it's like, when it's like you own all of your means of production or whatever or some shit like that, but that means that you're your own government. Or
Anarcho-primitism.
something. It doesn't
Easy. When you accidentally create civilization by when you spit out a berry and it lands on a wall and you accidentally create art and therefore gets clubbed to death.
when you moan and you get bludgeoned for trying to create communication. Like, I think, yeah, honestly, everything we can discuss on like libertarian left only seeks to further our point that it really doesn't exist, or it can't. It makes no sense.
Like left authoritarian is like large government for the people, like large powerful government, and then authoritarian right is small powerful government, and then libertarian right is small weak government or no government. Whatever.
Yeah.
Libertarian like you have a large weak government. That's just inefficient, or it's just like it doesn't happen.
Well, you can't really have a large, weak government because the larger it is, the more authoritarian.
Yeah, if it's a large government, then it's got a lot of like power because it's large.
Like, I think you can understand there are certain valid arguments for like a smaller government, like even minarchists or whatever they're called. Like, okay, maybe you want less government intervention, but I just think that a lot of those people would quickly change their minds if they actually had a government that did its job properly.
Yeah, it's like, I know.
Like, they're just people who are disillusioned with current governments. Like, maybe not with the idea of government itself, but like, honestly, current governments have let us down everywhere. Like Australia, definitely. The United States. Well, I mean, just look at the past 8 years for Obama. It's becoming
past 8 years for Obama, and then like Bush wasn't. Like, he was only kind of better, but even then he was, I don't know, like neocon is like with Obama. He was almost like, he was bad, but he was like almost good just because he, like, so many people did, like, he fucked up so bad like that people didn't like him.
Yeah.
It's like he showed everyone that race is like a thing in politics again. Like, you can't ignore, like, it's not a difference in opinion anymore. It's a difference in like genetics. It's like, oh no, it turns out that all these people from socialist countries from like South America want socialism, and we want more of them in, so they'll vote for socialism.
Mm-hmm. The more that you import, the more they'll vote Democrat. And obviously,
yeah, they vote like 4 to 1, I think. Yeah, ratio. They vote like 4 to 1 in for Democrats. But my natural conservative values cross the Rio Grande Goyam, don't you know?
Yeah, and of course this is...
My gardener's voting for Trump. No, he wouldn't be voting for Trump, he'd be voting for Kasich or something.
Yeah, like, this is the goal, I guess, of Obama and everything like that. Like, obviously the importing of the people from socialist countries, the importing of people that become reliant on welfare as well. Because especially now that the white population is, well, I guess we can say it's officially dying out in the United States because they're dying more than they're being born, and that's really concerning. And I guess, I know we were talking about it before, but like, that is one of my goals in life, is to just, keep the white race going, like keep it alive. Like, you might, I actually have pride in my bloodline and everything like that, and that's something that I don't think very many people have either. It's like, so on top of this white guilt bullshit, there's like, I don't actually see a reason to be proud to be white or anything like that. Like, you can't be proud of being white because there is no such thing as white race or European race. You're actually German or French or Irish.
No, there is only one race, the human race.
Race is only skin deep.
There's only one race, white superior master race, Moon Man 2015.
Can't you see? Spics and niggers should hang from trees.
Moon Man for ICE, like deport agent.
Okay. All right. So that I think we should possibly move on to another point. Well, we can very quickly finish up in Europe because a fair bit happened there. And what I want to talk about is some good news that came out of Europe. And in the Netherlands, there is now almost a unanimous vote to ban women wearing burqas in places like schools, hospitals, and on public transport. 132 out of 150 members of the Parliamentary House voted in favour of this. So, they're not attributing it to any race, which is kind of stupid. Like, I guess there would be a lot of backlash, and it may not have been voted through if they said, yeah, it's because Muslims are a security risk, which they obviously are. But instead, they say, it's just essential to be able to actually see somebody's face, which is fair enough.
Like it's a rational argument that if you you don't have to be political in either way to think of it. It's like if you walk into a service station with the motorbike helmet on, you have to take it off because it's concealing your face.
Yeah. And
if you walk into a bank with a balaclava on, then they're just going to assume you're going to rob the place because you're trying to conceal your identity. If you walk into if you're in a public area and you've concealed your identity or whatever.
I can remember the lefty anger from when in our state, New South Wales, they tried to ban women wearing burqas because a lot of them would get fines for speeding or things like that, and when they had to show up at court or whatever, they had no way to prove that it was actually the same person. So it's suddenly Muslims have this get out of jail free card simply because they all look the same.
Just wrap up a toy just get a large toy stuffed animal and over, put it in a bin bag and send it in there. It looked the fucking same.
It would.
And just get a $10 ninja cosplay outfit.
Or just wrap a mannequin up in a black blanket and stick googly eyes on the front. Cheap Muslim.
I don't know. I'd be fine if with them wearing it in their own home. I would prefer them to not be in the country. But if it's in a public area, then it just makes sense to. Yeah. I mean, I know that if you're in a.
It's oh look,
yeah.
I see this suspicious looking garbage bag walking around scoping a building or whatever. I want to report them to police, but who the fuck are they? There is no way to distinguish them.
Can you describe the person that's acting suspicious? They
looked a bit like a black umbrella.
Have you ever seen a shadow before? It looks like that.
It was just this pair of eyes, man. But yeah, honestly, and that's the thing. It's good that these Dutch members of Parliament have actually seen the logic behind this. But the problem is, you might be fixing one aspect of the problem, but you're still importing that culture, and the culture itself is the problem. Because obviously, I've also seen reports, and this has happened only recently. There was an article run on The Independent, and it talked about a woman in Saudi Arabia who went outside without a hijab in her own country, and she got a very different response. On social media there was kill her and throw her corpse to the dogs, and harsh punishment for this heinous situation. It's in a place like the Netherlands, you might have the left crying out because it's if you ban the burqa, they can't express their culture properly. Who are you to be a racist?
Oh, the hijab makes me feel free. It's my. I don't get it. If you're forced to do something, then you're not doing it because it makes you feel free. I don't know, if you're I don't know, you could have a pendant with a cross on it if you're Christian, or I don't know, if you're pagan, then I don't know, pagan relevant, good meme. But I don't know, if you're Jewish, you have a skull cap on or whatever. It's I don't know, and then you You know, then again, I guess if you're Jewish, you don't need to have any pendant on because you just got like a 7 meter long nose.
And you echo.
Yeah, but you don't. You're not forced to do any of that. Like, I don't know about Jewish anything, but it's like you're wearing something that's like, I don't know, I'm proud of my religion, or I'm proud of my beliefs, or it's like you're showing other people that might have the same beliefs. Like I have these beliefs, whatever. But you're like you have to draw a line. It's like wearing a special hat or whatever for religious purposes, or wearing a bin bag.
Yeah, and there is, on occasion I wear a cross, being Orthodox Christian. I don't wear that because I have to. I wear that because I'm proud of my religion. Like it's very different to a Muslim culture where it's like this is mandated of women, otherwise they will get stoned, they will get beaten alive. And I've seen videos of that as well. Like there was one, it was a few months ago, captured like on cell phones. Like it was put together from different social media accounts, put together because a woman, she was not only like out on her own or something like that, but she dropped the Quran. And that was grounds for her to get fucking pummeled into the ground and actually like beaten alive, like beaten to death because she dropped the Quran. And like, police tried to stop her or whatever, but really, that's Sharia law, like that permits that. Just like, you import Sharia law, suddenly it doesn't matter if they're not allowed to wear burqas in public. All it takes is one woman to go like out in public, not wearing a burqa. A Muslim man sees her and he's like, oh my fucking, Allah,
Allah, please stop me. I'm
hold
going
me
to
back.
commit some
Hold
sins.
me back, Allah, hold me back. I'm about to put this bitch in the ground. And they will, because
drop this fag from a crane.
Where's the nearest tallest building? But yeah, okay. It's good that they're doing it because it is obviously a security risk, but it is not good that they have to, because Muslims should not be there in the first place. Honestly, I think I'm not going to get a lot of opposition to that. But yeah, and I think enough of Europe. Now we can probably shift our focus to the United States, because there's been a fair bit going on there as well. The continent of America, a bit in Canada, more in the United States, and I think one big point to make is this Jill Stein recount effort, which is it's kind of fizzled. I mean, no one really cared about Jill Stein to begin with. She got attention because, it was like this whole last-ditch attempt for the leftists to win the election. So, we'll milk all of these retard leftists, all these, burnouts for every cent that they've got. They might go without a month of eating because they donated to election integrity.
We need every last penny.
She actually said that,
Gotta squeeze the shekels like squeezing water from a sponge.
Time to milk the goyim. Oh, fuck's sakes. This, I swear, it ruins iTunes opening instead of my audio player ruins drops every single time. But, what could be more stereotypical? A Jew asking for millions and millions of shekels and adjusting the goal to be even higher every other day, really. Like, it started at $3 million or something, and then it shifted to 9.5 million, and she's like, it's because Wisconsin needs $3.5 million in order for us to actually file a suit against them to do the recount.
It turns out I'd like to buy 4 homes instead of 3.
But then, the effort actually failed, and it's because apparently, although she got $6 million in her recount fundraiser, she still didn't have enough to file in Pennsylvania, and that I really don't understand. And obviously, because it failed, because she couldn't afford the suit in Pennsylvania, the whole thing has just fizzled out. Only simply because Hillary actually needs all 3 states to flip, so that's actually impossible now. So there is nothing stopping God Emperor Trump from ascending now, which is a good thing.
It's been like an entire fucking month. If they found something, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there was like scheming and there's fake votes, but it would be for the left and like by fake vote. Like, I think even if there is no fake vote, like all votes by people, like all votes were done by someone that is still alive and is in the country. I mean, even then it'd be like postal votes are retarded, but like let's say like they're all like none of these votes are from anyone that's dead or anyone that is fake. They're all from like each vote is from one person. It's still rigged because they're like importing people to vote. It's like it doesn't matter. They I don't care. Like if you're going through the morgue or whatever, it's this person I don't know died 1923. They voted for Hillary.
It's like my grandmother was a conservative. What a shame. Now she's voting for Hillary.
Yeah, you gotta. That's like the only reason why I should have the early voting is just so your like grandparents can vote conservative before they vote liberal.
Yeah. Oh, and so Miss Stein is reported to have said, "This is yet another sign that Pennsylvania's antiquated election law is stacked against voters. We will pursue every available remedy to ensure Pennsylvanians can trust what happened in this election."
Boy, we lost. It's like
it's stacked against voters. They're out to get you.
Like, okay, we'll have a vote for the president. Okay, so Clinton. Mr. Clinton, do you understand that
I don't know who's doing who anymore.
Like so you're running for president. You've been the Secretary of State. You know all about politics. The Electoral College is a thing. Okay, I understand this. I got the popular vote and over 2 million votes. Don't worry. Like that, all of them were from California and New York. It's like
something suspicious about those, isn't there? And of course, we could forget Trump's vote. It's like, if you, you recount the thing, you'll find that I'll just win even more because of all the illegal votes or something like that.
Yeah,
that was brilliant.
I would win I can't remember what the actual quote is, but it's like I would win the popular vote if you didn't count the illegal immigrants voting.
Yeah,
and he would because there's like several million of them. That it's not even that they're voting illegally. They can vote. They just shouldn't. Like they shouldn't be able to. But I mean, my sanctuary cities. We need to get them out of the. We need to get these. I don't know, poor undocumented immigrants.
They need to have a say too because they're underrepresented.
I don't care if they're underrepresented. They're represented in Mexico.
Yeah, look, they need to go back. And who could forget that stupid video, like all those Mexicans falling from the sky?
That's hilarious. You just like, this like the Mexican surgeon that gets sent over partly through, implying that he has a degree. He wasn't just stealing those organs.
Or it's like, hey, I had a store in the United States, and then they send the shop over the wall as well. Brilliant. But I just think one more point that you cannot forget about Jill Stein's entire recount is the premise that it was based on, which was that there is no election, there is no evidence of election fraud, which is apparently evidence of election fraud.
The computer scientists, they didn't find any so we found there was more people voting in this state than there are people in the state, or more people voted than they these people voted but they didn't enroll to vote, or this entire area didn't collect IDs to vote or something like that, or we got a lot of traffic from a specific server during, I don't know how they count, you should never do votes or transmit vote data over the internet or even any way digitally, because that's fucking dumb.
Yeah.
But it's they just proposed a thought experiment. If someone was to rig the election, then they would want to leave no trace that they rigged the election. We didn't find any trace they rigged the election. Therefore, they rigged the election.
Therefore, they rigged the election because we don't like the result. Like,
That-
that's what
that-
it boils down to.
It's like you have no evidence.
Like, you could
That's
write
not
pages
evidence.
and pages and pages of theory on it, but it just boils down to it's rigged because we don't like the result.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, Brexit is like, oh no, everyone voted no, but it doesn't. It's fine. They voted against their own interests, so we'll just vote. So it's actually a yes. It's fine.
Oh my god, fucking 50% of the United States is racist.
It's like 48% of the people voted to stay. We should listen to them. Like, fucking no.
I still can't believe that happened. Like, I actually feel more, I feel more elated about Brexit than I do about the United States because, I don't know, just like, I didn't have any doubt in my mind that Trump would win, but like, Brexit was, oh my god, like, Brexit, leave was behind for so much, and then like as it started gaining that lead, like that tiny, infinitesimally small lead, and then
I remember because we were watching it pretty much together, and it was like it started off and Remain was ahead by a sizable margin. They'd only counted like a few 100,000 people, I think, maybe tens of thousands of people, can't remember, but it was a fairly small amount of people in comparison to the amount of people who voted. But Remain was ahead. It's like, oh no, I guess it didn't happen. And then, like, you just see like across like at the bottom, it's like vote like this county or whatever votes leave, votes leave, and leave gets a very small lead, and they didn't lose that lead until
once
won.
they took the lead, they didn't lose it. Like,
Yeah.
Remain started catching up towards the end, and then something like their lead is 1.2 million or something like that. It was just, it was delicious.
Yeah, I remember it was in the middle of a class, and someone it was like, it was pretty much like both of us were just refreshing the page and like looking up the results, and it's like, they just hit 15 million. Woo!
It's like, yeah, you and I trying so hard to hide the grins, and just everyone else is crying.
And then, like, you look
like,
over,
oh my god, what the fuck?
The German teacher. He's like,
yeah.
oh no, what about the people who have their jobs in England? What are they going to do? Like, get a work visa or work in your own country.
Yeah, I know.
It just because like Brexit passed, it means it's not in the EU. It doesn't mean it's not in Europe. They're not like putting fucking propellers on the island and moving it across. And like, look, we're going to separate it by the tectonic plate.
Come and unite them with Australia again. Please do. Or or they could just like rocket across the Atlantic and join up with the United States.
Yeah,
Like,
that's fine.
Just replace Washington.
Just like lift them up, put them on top of California. Nothing of value is lost.
No, let California succeed, and then put the UK there, and then I don't know, just California will kill itself off.
I actually really hope that California is like, I know it's like it's not going to happen.
It's a pipe
but
dream.
If it like, I really hope it does succeed, because
It's
all
so
they're
funny.
doing is removing 55 electoral votes. Like, if like Clinton, like, she lost the election by a fairly sizable margin. If she didn't have an extra 55 votes, she wouldn't have like even breached 200.
She would have been like, the Democratic campaign would have been absolutely fucking ass blasted.
Like, that's the only reason that like they get the like coastal cities that have all the Jews and stuff, and a few border cities that have a bunch of Mexicans. Like, all the states that they're in the center of America or whatever, they just get everyone votes conservative because they don't want government to coming in and doing stuff, or
and they don't want California deciding the future of the country.
Yeah.
California and New York, like,
Why is Wisconsin getting more vote power than I am? These dumb white hip hillbilly rednecks, they're voting more
all
than
these fucking hicks voted for Trump. Of course they're all just racists. Oh, you remember the Confederate flag? It's racist.
I really wish I had have bought like a full Confederate flag, like a full like cotton Confederate flag. I want hand-picked by black cotton flag.
I mean, that's the only real way to go.
Yeah, well, if you're getting like a, I don't know, polyester one or like a plasticky one, then it's going to be like fucking made in China, and by that point you may as well just like print one out on paper.
Get everyone printed at like the office supply store.
Yeah, color it in with some crayons. And I put my own hard work into it.
Babby's first Confederate flag. Okay, so there's one last thing on Jill Stein's now failed election recount, and it was just when Trump's lawyers, when they filed to counter this Pennsylvanian recount suit, the thing that they said was absolutely brilliant. They're like, despite being no more than a blip on the electoral radar, Stein has now commandeered Pennsylvania's electoral process with an eye toward doing the same to the Electoral College. Like, how can you recover from that? Like, that's utterly blown the fuck out.
Yeah, like if only like if law and if legal proceedings. That's what I was thinking of. They just like, if it was just a big battle of like who has the best bants, that would be best.
Trump would win every time.
Yeah, it's just like, oh no, like Trump University's is battle soon. It's like, nah, this is dumb. Like, absolute judge blown the fuck out.
Or even like, if the presidential debates were won by the Bants, like, who could forget, because you'd be in jail. Or like that second debate was utterly, he was luring her the whole time.
CNN declares Hillary Clinton winner of all debates, including the ones that haven't happened yet. She'll win.
Madam President, say it with me.
Have you seen those
they came up before the election.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with like those coming up for the election because I think they also printed Trump ones as well.
I haven't seen any Trump
but
ones.
The Madam President ones they were shown off more. But the Madam President magazines are being sold online for really high amounts.
I wish I got one, actually. I wish I could have got one. I'm not going to spend like a ridiculous amount of money on it.
I'd buy it, like, just frame it. Like, this is the day the left lost.
We changed our timeline completely.
It's like the three tiers of the three best presidential items that you could get. Like, number one, the MAGA hat, just because it's number three is the MAGA hat because it's beautiful. It's a nice design. And then number two is the Madam President magazine, like framed, put it up on your wall. Top presidential item.
Let me guess, guac ball.
Guac ball.
I really want one, but I can't get them anywhere.
They don't. I can't find them anywhere. There was a single Amazon thing that was selling them, but they're out of stock. And the pictures of it, they were just they were like the same shape of the guac bowl, but it didn't have the Jeb exclamation point. Because it's that old. It was Jeb exclamation point, not just Jeb.
Yeb. I mean, we could probably just get a guac bowl. Like, I don't know how you score the writing into it or something, or like drill the writing into it. But
you make like a, I don't know, wooden mold or whatever and cast it.
You just stencil it and then punch it out with a hammer and chisel.
Yeah.
I mean, you could. I would. I want one.
Yeah. I mean, that is like the best item of any presidential run ever. Like, I mean, Reagan and Bush t-shirts, like Reagan Bush 84. Those are pretty good because, I mean, that's like 80s is kind of like, you could say that's sort of like vaporwave kind of, old stuff, but
yeah, that'll forever be aesthetic.
Yeah, but Jeb Bush guac ball. The only thing it would make it better is if it came with guac, freshly made by Jeb.
Freshly made by wetbacks. Okay, so where do you want to go from here?
Go on to Trump Twitter, where, well, his latest shenanigans. Well, he's probably had more shenanigans since then, but the latest one that I can remember and think of is, oh no, Trump said you shouldn't be able to burn the American flag. Meanwhile, burning the Confederate flag.
Yeah, and I honestly, I disagree with burning the flag. I just think it's an enormous sign of disrespect. But of course, that's become normal in the
Yeah,
United
if you
States
don't
now.
like it, like, I could kind of understand like burning the European Union flag or burning the flag of
Well,
another
you don't
country.
really have a choice of getting into
Yeah,
the European
it's like
Union.
you're burning the flag of another country because you don't like it. It's still pretty dumb. It's like when you think about it, it's really petty.
I consider burning the EU flag a sign of nationalism because
Yeah, I mean it's like I don't like this this group that controls it. But
Fucking
if you don't like your
communists.
country, then fucking leave.
just enjoying my Second Amendment rights, you fucking communist.
Postal 2 is the greatest game ever made.
It's the greatest ANCAP simulator.
What other game can you use cats as silencers?
What
And
other
can you
ga-
beat Gary Coleman?
I was going to say Gary Coleman. Oh, I mean, what other game is like Second Amendment simulator? And you know, you can lure cops around with piss-soaked donuts. But honestly, of course, this is being used by Jews as like another push for Twitter to completely ban Donald Trump from Twitter because it's like, you know, this is unconstitutional to call for flag burners to be made stateless, and Twitter's 317 million users need to demand that the service ban Trump for life. Quote, David Bankoff.
His fucking picture on the profile is him wearing a kippa.
Yeah.
It, like, they're not even being crypto anymore. They're just being Jewish.
It took the fun out of it for a while, but now honestly it's just like, wow, now I know never to look at this site again.
It's like the people that put parentheses around their own name. Congratulations, now I don't even need to install coincidence detector.
Congratulations, now you're just another target.
Yeah, it's like... You may as well put like the fucking star on your own striped jumpsuit. Just like put yourself in the oven.
Just instead of wearing a safety pin in public, wear a Jude badge.
But like I've seen other ones. It's like Twitter can ban Donald Trump, and they should.
Yeah, Donald Trump's Twitter is an absolute disaster for diplomacy. But we'll get to that. But it's like, you know, it should be like a jailable offense to ban the United States flag. In most other countries, it is as well. So that's why I don't understand why it's such a problem in the United States suddenly to be a nationalist. It's like, it's the biggest sign of disrespect you could possibly have. It's like, you know, a lot of these people that might be burning the flag didn't even come from the United States or have like openly declared their hate for it or something like that. It's like, get the fuck out if you don't like the country. You know, you don't have to stay here. We don't even want you here.
Sorry, I just want to look something up because I know there's a pretty good meme about the flag. I think the Flag Desecration Act. Try and find it.
Yeah, sure. I guess, well, you know.
Back to Israel.
Could just drop spam for
Yeah,
a
there we
little
are.
bit.
The Flag Protection Act of 2005 was a proposed U.S. states federal law introduced into the United States Senate at the 109th United States Congress on October 24, 2005 by Senator Bob Rennett, Utah, and co-sponsored by Senator Hillary Clinton. Like they proposed it themselves.
Yeah, I don't know. They're just hypocrites, honestly.
The law would have prohibited burning or otherwise destroying or damaging the U.S. flag with the primary purpose of intimidation or inciting immediate violence for the act of terrorism. It called for punishment. It called for a punishment of no more than 1 year in prison and a fine of no more than $100,000, unless the flag was property of the United States government, in which the penalty could be a fine of not more than.
Well, how different is that to Trump's tweet, huh? A year in jail. Wow. You know, it's not like this is a wildly unprecedented stuff.
Like the loss of citizenship is like a bit higher, but they still said like it could be up to $100,000.
Well,
Like
I mean, $100,000 is enough for like anyone who's burning the flag to like default on their payments or something like that.
Yeah, you
know?
may as well just leave the country.
Yeah, I'd flee the country.
Yeah. If it was United States government property, it would be a fine of more than 250,000, no more than 250,000, no more than 2 years of prison, or both.
Jesus. Well, I mean, there you go. And I fully support. I fully support this because we need nationalism in the United States. Like, and I think obviously we can judge it by the amount of likes. And this is when I took the screenshot. I can't remember when I did, but 210,000 likes on Twitter alone. Like,
Trump
agree
usually
with him.
gets like a fair amount of likes and retweets because he's got a lot of followers and he's very, being the president elect makes you pretty popular. But like most of his tweets get like maybe 20 to 50,000 likes, like on average. Maybe if it's something like really specific, like if he's saying like thanks to a state for like when he visits them or whatever, then it might get like 10,000. But 200,000 or 210,000.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, that shows like people saw it. It's like, yeah, this is good.
Yeah,
I'm sure like
and obviously,
like
I think that's probably what incites like these kike responses as well. Again, David Benkoff. He's a senior political analyst. Of course, he'll crawl out of the woodwork when Trump says something that people agree with, but he doesn't, and he's going to try to use his leverage as like as this senior political analyst to change people's mind. He posts this as an opinion, but honestly, it's like, don't disagree with me, goyim, otherwise it's anti-Semitism.
Another call. Continue going. Then.
Yeah, fair. Anyway, so to go a little further on discussing Donald Trump, there's a bit more that he's tweeted about, and suddenly we've got the mainstream media whipping up a storm about how he communicated with Taiwan, and that's apparently a diplomatic disaster for the United States and China because, the United States doesn't recognize Taiwan, and therefore he shouldn't either. And so what they're saying is like, Donald Trump keeps confirming fears about his diplomatic skills, and obviously this is the Washington Post. So and another thing they're doing, they're trying to turn it into a conspiracy by just saying like, he agreed to the call before the call was actually made, and therefore it was predetermined, and therefore he's trying to undermine Chinese, United States, diplomatic relations, and he's a risk to the world because we can't actually trust him diplomatically. So it also raises questions about who is advising Trump when it comes to diplomacy with Asia. They're saying that people have building concerns about his handling of other calls with other countries. It's like, the only argument they have against Trump at this point in time is that he has no previous experience, and so they're trying to make out like he's a complete incompetent, buffoon. And I don't think that many people are actually going to believe what he's saying, or rather believe what the media is saying, because, well, enough people voted him in to get into presidency. And what does it matter if he talks to Taiwan? What does it matter if he doesn't continue following this like predetermined one China policy that's been in action for the last 40 years or whatever? Like, if the democratically elected prime minister of Taiwan wanted to congratulate him, then so be it. If they wanted to discuss more than just congratulations, and discuss like other diplomatic relations or imports, etc., like economies, so what does it matter? Taiwan has some of its own functions as well, like just because it could never split from China because China would invade it in a snap. What is the problem exactly? Like, they're just trying to bring about fear that he will start World War III. Like, I've actually seen that posted. Trump's Twitter is going to start World War III someday because he just, he's too insensitive, or he's careless. And, they're saying like, China's now going to get angry, or China's going to, stop trading with us or whatever, because well, again, it's just a load of shit. I don't believe any of it. But his response to all this craziness about his phone call is simply interesting how the United States sells Taiwan billions of dollars of military equipment, but I should not accept a congratulatory call. I mean, that's the essence of it. And even people trying to talk about how Trump is like, he has his own version of events compared to what really happens. It's like, back with the talks with Duarte on the wall and everything like that, and now with this thing with Taiwan as well, like the media's reporting that he talked about more than just congratulations, just like he said it was only a congratulatory call. Back when they spoke about the wall in Mexico, they're like, Trump says, I didn't talk about it, and Duerte's saying they did talk about it. Not only are they trying to display Trump as an incompetent, but they're also trying to make out like he's a pathological liar of sorts, and it's completely ridiculous. Some of these headlines as well. Did Trump just cause a diplomatic crisis over Taiwan? And gaffe or provocation? Donald Trump's Taiwan phone call affects global stability. I think more so they're going to step up the peddling of like this fear mongering that they've had going on for a while. It's just going to keep on going, especially now that they have no more recourse to try to prevent him from getting into presidency. They're just going to be like, oh, people better fear him now. People, it's like, oh shit, Trump was a bad idea. Let's try to kick him out or whatever. Welcome back, Infinite Zero.
Hey.
I was just talking about, more so about his Taiwan tweet. Just how I think it's kind of ridiculous, because it's obvious that the media is trying to. Well, it's fear mongering, because they have no other way to, they have no way to prevent him from getting into office anymore.
So they're just trying to make people dislike Trump as much as possible.
They're trying to make them afraid of. Trying to make them afraid of him.
I mean, did you? I think it was CNN, but it might be something else. I wouldn't be surprised if it was CNN. But they weren't even telling the story correctly. Like, they were just lying. It's like Trump calls Taiwan, and Angus, he didn't call Taiwan. Called Trump. Yeah. To congratulations of Chinese Taipei. Sorry, they called Trump to say congratulations on your presidential win, because, I mean, they would hate China more than Trump would. I mean, they would hate China more than anyone, because they don't want to be China.
They're not allowed to be an independent state, but the moment they try to break free from China, they'll get invaded and fucking destroyed.
Yeah, I'm fine with the countries invading each other, because it's a good meme. But I don't know.
Yeah, it's making when.
Yeah, it's making China mad, and I mean, I'm fine with that.
I don't have an issue with it either.
Yeah.
So I think I had another point I wanted to talk about with Trump. Oh yes, Mad Dog Mattis.
Fucking sick cunt.
And look, honestly, I don't know a lot about him. I've only gotten my opinion of him from poll, 4chan poll, 8chan poll, places like that, and that's not exactly a good place to get a proper informed opinion. But
from what I understand is that he is he's like the army general that US should have already had.
He does seem like alpha.
If you look at the the Ministry of Defense leaders of all the country, Germany and whatever, it's all fucking random women. But then the defense, the Minister of Defense Poland and Hungary, they're in all the old empire Rome and stuff. In order to, even if you wanted to get a normal political position, or if you had to be anyone, you had to serve in the military. And if you wanted to become how do you be a Minister of Defense if you haven't been in the military?
I don't understand this whole 7 years rule either.
Like you can, like, what's the 7 years rule?
It's like you can't serve as like a chief defense position if you served in the military any less than 7 years ago. Mattis resigned 4 years ago, therefore he's going to need to get something passed in like Congress.
Wait, you have to have quit the military 7 years ago
or more.
Well, I would have thought. I was thinking, like when you were saying that, I was thinking, yeah, if you haven't been in the military for 7 years, then you shouldn't be able to because it wouldn't be recent. But it's the other way around. That's just fucking dumb.
Yeah, it's like, how is it any different to a promotion?
Wouldn't it be better to have like served in the military recently?
It's like, no, we actually can't promote you, so we're just going to fire you and call you back in 7 years' time. Some shit like that. It really doesn't make sense to me.
When I was seeing the thing is, oh no, he might Mad Dog Mattis might need to get congressional approval or like something special to get it into Ministry of Defense. But like I was thinking, oh maybe he committed something, maybe he did something wrong, or like they don't like him, so they have to go through some special process. But it's because he was in the military recently. That's just dumb.
It is actually. But this guy, he's apparently got some really good quotes, and it kind of further. Well, I think it makes me respect him because he just seems to know his shit. Like some things, even simply like there are hunters and there are victims. By your discipline, cunning, obedience, and alertness, you'll decide if you are a hunter or a victim. You cannot allow any of your people to avoid the brutal facts. If they start living in a dream world, it's going to be bad. Case in point, California. I think, are people still having cry-ins? Have those ended yet?
I think all the people that had a cry-in have either killed themselves or like maybe grown up.
I doubt they'll grow up.
Or they've changed the cry-in to like they've all gone to fucking like the Dakota pipeline. Do they realize that the oil is already being sent? Like it's already going like across that area. It's just if they make the pipeline, they can send more and cheaper. Like they're already sending oil tankers. Like blocking the pipeline isn't going to change oil existing.
Nope. But I mean, it's like
it's not even over any
American Indians.
It's not even over their land.
But it
goes like slightly near the like
40
edge
miles.
of it.
It's like 40 miles away. That's our 40 miles safe space.
They're acting like they're bombing an Indian burial ground and putting they're digging straight, like cutting up the corpses that have been buried there for billions of years because they've been here for ages.
Oy vey, it's another invasion.
Yeah, they're doing it just because they hate the American Indians. They're all evil white men. Like, it's not even a burial ground, and I thought that they didn't. I thought that American Indians didn't have a concept of private property unless
they don't.
What's this? I mean, someone wants to use either you have private property and you want to defend it, or you don't have private property and you don't need to defend it.
Basically, it's like it reminds me of Aboriginals because they have this. There's this whole leftist argument that's like, no, we can't build here, or we can't build here either because it's some sort of sacred Aboriginal site, or this was a site that they lived in, and therefore we can't build on it, or we can't expand land, or can't dig oil or farmland or anything like that on here because it's Aboriginal space and therefore it's sacred. But also, I thought that they didn't exactly believe in owning land either.
Yeah, that's like their main thing. It's like, oh, we're so much smarter than all these British colonialists because instead of building a farm, like building farmland or discovering agriculture, we'll just eat berries and like.
The ultimate antrims.
What kind of fucking culture doesn't develop like agriculture or the wheel or fire?
I don't know.
What?
The culture that does cave paintings all the time.
I can understand if it's like if it's like a really by really significant site, like there's like archaeological evidence and stuff. Like if there's like paintings that are really old or whatever, or there's tools that have been used.
If there's actually something worth saving, I wouldn't have a problem with it.
If there's something there. If it's like, oh no, back in the dream time, like we ate witchetty grubs in this very spot.
The rainbow snake's crawling, brother.
Even as a kid, I thought those stories were fucking. That I thought they were funny, but I didn't think they were like. It's like
They're literally
what kind
fairy
of,
tales.
yeah, it's like I don't know, Rainbow Serpent written by Hans Christian Andersen. Like, I don't know, this is a good story now. Like, I don't know, I rated like it's like you got Rainbow Serpent and then like Tiddalik and then you've got like I don't know Snow White.
Yeah, it's like, well, I guess there is that argument that it's like, well, if you can call the Aboriginal Dreamtime fairy tales, then you can also call the Bible a collection of fairy tales. It's like, well, no, not really. You know why? Because the Bible actually talks about people doing things as opposed to fucking weird, I don't know,
it was
mushroom trick animals.
There's spiritual stuff in the Bible. It's like like magic stuff or whatever, but it's also like it's used as historical evidence and well, I mean that's not really a very good. It's hashtag not an argument, but like it was written by it was written like about people and like it's also like 2,000 years ago, like I don't know the Dreamtime is some time ago. I don't know. It's like stories, like
a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. I don't want to compare it to like Roman or Greek mythology, but it's like it'd be sort of similar to that, just because like I mean, then in like Roman like in their society it was like that wasn't mythology, that was history, but it was sort of like
I guess what I can remember from like school history classes with like this whole Dreamtime thing is like these
because in history instead of learning about like medieval Europe or about like Rome or about like ancient civilizations like Sumeria or like I know the different like eras during Egypt and whatever, you learn about the Dreamtime and the Cold War.
I wish that I'd learned what Deus Vult meant back in like year 3 or year 4 or something. My life would have been so much better.
I think we did go through the Crusades at one point, but it was all, oh no, they were evil Christians and look what they did to. I can't even like what was the like civilization that they destroyed? It's a solid meme. I don't know. Can't even remember. Not relevant.
Exactly. But the thing is, Aboriginal Dreamtime stories, they talk about like morals, like morals, but they're about like really simplistic things like, don't kill too many animals or something like that, or, be nice to the land, or we don't own land for these reasons or something. It's like...
It's something like, I don't know, if your parents tell you to do something, then you should listen to them.
It's like, at least the Bible has so much depth to it as well. Like, again, I don't really want to get into like religious discussion, but now that I'm on this comparison, it's like, it actually has deeply intellectual messages. And that's something that's like, even if it's just a product of culture, it's a product of a much greater intellect.
Well, if you're going through like the actual history, like a lot of the Bible was influenced by Plato, and he was either like some fucking wizard who knew everything, or he had like some like, or like I know everyone just based their beliefs off him. But it's he had a very good insight in like human psychology and in like just the human condition. It's like he like if you read through Plato's Republic, I think it's like he's talking about like how like the different stages of the state and like what is the best state. It's like if you get to democracy, how like democracy will ultimately fail and will lead to anarchy, and it's like it'll be corrupt. It's like, and then that influenced a lot of people, and then that influenced the creation of the Bible. And so there's a lot of like, even if you don't like, I'm not Christian, but I was baptized as I'm a Catholic, but I don't know what sect it was because I was like 3, but it's like there are like I can remember like in like Sunday school and things. It's like this section of the Bible says be nice to people, and it's like like turn the other cheek is pretty fucking gay, but it's like if you like it if in a society where people are like they're all similar, it's like if you're in a dark alley and I know you're getting mugged, you don't turn the other cheek because they'll just stab you. If you're in I don't know, if you're arguing with someone like another white person, and it's about like some like petty quarrel, then I know everyone like turn the other cheek is like what you're like, you can get over it.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the foundation of like every successful society in the past millennium more has like built off morals from like Christianity.
Yeah,
And-
like before Christianity, like paganism is, I don't know, it's a good meme religion. Like if you're pagan, then at least like most of like the people that are doing pagan, it's either like an excuse for dude weed LaMayo, or it's like, I know they're trying to preserve the history of their ancestors, which I approve of. But like all of my ancestors for like the past like 1,000+ years were Christian. Like before then they were probably pagan, but that's a long time ago. And I'm sure in 1,000 years they'll probably all be Arabic.
Oh, I mean, we can change that. Oh, we have to.
One can dream of a 10th crusade.
I would do anything to be involved in that. It's like, and that's another really stupid thing I just recalled. It's like, the alt-right just consists of young, angry white males who dream of nothing more than like religious conquest. And how does that make them any different to jihadists?
Fucking damn right. The difference with jihad is because we have the backing of God.
The difference is, he's like, here we are with Muslims having infested everything. The conquests were like fighting back against Islam. Like they weren't initiated. Like they didn't initiate the aggression. They didn't violate the NAF.
Look, oh no, these crusades are so bad. It's like history of Spain. Like the Iberian Peninsula wasn't. Implying Spain is white, but it wasn't always like this. Like they don't have those funny shaped buildings for nothing.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to take part in a crusade. It would be fun, I think, I have never felt more strongly about ridding the world of the Muslim scourge.
Some days not some days, every day you wake up and you open your eyes, like look at the ceiling a bit, and just think, remove kebab.
It's just, I think, whatever fracturing there might be in the alt-right because of all this media coverage or whatever that's going on, there's still just that opposition to Islam, and I think that would actually bring us together in the event of it actually.
The main tenets of that I would believe in the alt-right is that it's like a group of people that come from it's right wing. There isn't, it's not like a centrist movement. There are probably some centrists that moved to alt-right because that would sort of include me, but I was more just apolitical and didn't care. But it's a collection of like random disenfranchised right-wing people that all, but like white nationalism is like a central point in alt-right. Like you could believe in, you could agree with the alt-right and not be white yourself, but no, it's like, I know it'd be like a white person believing in like a La Raza, which is just, and I'm fine with Arab Arab nationalism or whatever in Arab countries, or
just stay there.
Yeah.
The only reason Islamophobia even exists is because they're coming in and they're spreading and everything like that, which is, and again, it's like, that's why all these movements even come into being, is because we don't necessarily want anything to do with them, because we can recognize that their cultures are so much opposed to ours, and they pretty much seek to destroy us, and we know that they don't, or they choose not to recognize it, or whatever. They don't, they want us gone, because we're the only real opposition. We're we're a vocal opposition to this as well. Excuse me again, I don't know what's going on. But it's again, we're not the ones who are initiating these fights, or are initiating this war for white America or like white anywhere. It's just we're not the one. I mean, we didn't go into their countries and start like removing kebab on a mass scale. Although nothing of value would be lost if we moved into their countries and like wiped all the Muslims out, because the world doesn't really need Islam, in my opinion.
Yeah, it'd be like, I'm fine with termites being in a termite mound. I don't want them in my house, but like, also, if you go destroy the termite mound, doesn't matter. The termites. I just I don't want them here. I'm like, I can live with them being somewhere else.
Open borders, guy.
Fucking open borders, open oven.
Oh, yeah, I get to use a drop.
Wait, I have a meme for this.
Extra crisp. Extra crispy.
Am I an extra crispy boy?
Crispy.
Mine extra crispy.
Juice.
I know it's badly tacked together, but like just crispy.
It's an old meme, but it checks out.
Fucking again.
Get pranked.
I am getting pranked.
When you try and open a drop, but iTunes decides to, oh no, you want to listen to this on iTunes, don't you? What category
This oven is over 60 meters long.
Okay. Well, we are nearing the 2-hour mark, actually. So maybe we'll wrap it up by around 2 hours or whatever. But there's some other, like, I guess, smaller points. I know do you want to talk about the Oregon State University attack?
Was it Oregon or I thought it was Ohio?
Ohio, yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry, I confuse all these.
Yeah, but it's just it's OSU, and I don't know that much about US like geography. It's more just Texas is down and California's on the left, I think. And New York has a lot of Jews in it. But anyway, what I know about it, 18-year-old Somali, US, since 2014, named Abdul Razak Ali Artan. So, fucking Muhammad Jihad Muhammad Ahmad.
Yeah, I'm surprised in those 4 names there is not one Muhammad.
I mean, it's Somali, so it's not. I'm surprised there's no like fucking Mbantu. Or like.
Yeah, I don't like there have been so many Somalis in the media lately. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, but it's like, oh no, we don't want to assign a motive to him. There's no, like, he probably doesn't have a motive. He's just fucking like black. The motive is that he's Somalian and that he realizes he can get away with it, or that like he just doesn't care.
Do you remember when it was reported as a road rage incident?
The road rage incident isn't as funny as the people calling out for like gun safety.
Oh yeah, I know.
It's like, oh no, there's another school shooting. This is why we need to get rid of the Second
Yeah,
Amendment.
when they reported it, it was a shooting.
It was in a gun-free zone, and he didn't even use a gun.
And of course, it's just like, this is where we are. Instead of common sense gun control, we get run, hide, fight at Julie DiCaro, whoever the fuck she thinks she is.
Probably some reporter.
And Ohio ceasefire. Say no to guns on college campuses. It was a gun-free zone. You actually need a permit from like the university officials to carry a gun on campus.
Yeah, it's like, you know what else was a gun-free zone? Pulse nightclub. Nice job.
More comprehensive gun control, please. Oh wait, there wasn't a gun. Oh well, more gun control anyway.
Yeah, it's like, I mean,
why did the cops have guns?
Hashtag disarm the police.
The police are becoming too militant.
Yeah, it's like police become militant when gangs become militant.
Actually, that reminds me of the perfect meme, and it was
perfect meme.
It was like a protester on like the left side, and he was getting like bashed with a riot shield on the right, and like the arrow to his head was like, wants more government, and the riot officer was like, this is more government.
Yeah. Like, I'm fine with more government if they just shut down the left.
Exactly, like they just need it, Yeah. I'm fine with more government if the left all gets sent into gulags. It's like they asked for it, really.
Yeah, I got nothing against FEMA camps for the left.
And this guy, he's like, He said, I wanted to pray in the open, but I was kind of scared with everything going on in the media, he stated. I'm a Muslim. It's not what the media portrays me to be. He blamed the negative view Americans have of Muslims on Islamophobia planted in their minds by the US media.
Yeah, it was like one of the interviews, like humans of New York, like it was like humans of Ohio State, whatever.
Oh yeah,
But-
it was like one of the campus magazines or
Yeah,
something
it was
like
like a year later or whatever. Run like, I mean, he didn't even get a fucking kill. What a faggot!
Yeah, I know.
Like it goes in road rage incident, then decides, oh
Gets
no,
whips out his butcher's knife and starts slashing people, and
then like within a minute gets fucking glacked.
like honestly, I'm glad nobody got killed.
Yeah, I know like that there are a few people, and I sort of like believe it was like the more happenings that happen, the more people will go like more right wing, because it's like once people realize that like this shit is happening and that we won't be able to stop it without getting rid of the people doing it, then like that's what makes people more right wing. Like Ferguson probably red pilled more people than almost anything else.
Well, I think first they're going to be like, they're going to wake up to the narrative. It's like they're pushing gun control, yet he didn't have a gun.
Yeah,
and
it's
then it's
little
like
things like that, and then they realize, oh, they're saying no motive, but I know he's Muslim, and if you like read the Quran, it does stuff. I mean, that is sort of like, I mean, being anti-Islam, like, it's sort of red pill, but it's more like you just like understand things.
Yeah, they're overzealous to jump on things to like push their agenda, and then they make themselves look like absolute idiots, and
Yeah.
then it kind of gives away their motive as well.
And then you
because-
look at who's pointing, who's like showing who's like running the media, and it's like, oh, like who's trying to push this narrative, and what are the political parties they support, and where are they getting their funding from, and what countries is this funding coming, what countries is getting this funding or whatever.
It kind of cascades onto itself, really. But it's like, the same media outlets that are like, it was, we've reported shooting, gunshots being fired or whatever. They're the same ones that now say we don't know motive for the attack. But it's like, on his Facebook, he praised a terrorist. Like, he actually mentioned a name or something like that. I don't have the name with me, but he actually, like, praised him before he did the attack. It was obviously premeditated. It could not have just been a road rage incident, because you don't just go, Allah Akbar!
What kind of road rage incident? Like, I mean, what? I can understand, like, concealed carry, like having a knife or whatever in your pocket or whatever. You don't have a machete in your car unless you're like going on like
Or a butcher's knife. I think it was a butcher's
yeah,
knife.
but a butcher. Yeah, you don't have a butcher's. You shouldn't have a butcher's knife in your car if you're using it. Like, if you want to self-defend yourself, like with a knife, a butcher's knife is just it's impractical. So just, like, you can get a better knife and
You
just
get
use
that to hurt people.
Yeah, like you use a butcher's knife for like cooking, unless you're driving somewhere where you like that needs a butcher's knife. Then you don't need it. Like, I know,
Yeah.
I
Like, you don't need it unless you're cooking or unless you're out to cut a nigger.
yeah. Like, I'm fine with having like weapons in cars, and like I don't give a shit about that. But you don't, like, a butcher's knife, like, it's meant for like, it was pre-met. Like, you don't put a butcher's knife in your car unless I said like you're going somewhere to cook or you're going somewhere to cut a nigger up.
The thing is also, it's like, he was completely silent apparently during this attack, and that's just weird. Like, he just gets out and he's just going,
Not only was he Muslim, he was also severely autistic.
he was Muslim and afraid to talk to people.
I wouldn't be surprised if someone tried to push the narrative. Oh, he didn't want to talk to them because they might say mean things about him.
They might misunderstand him.
It's like the Muslim person in Germany that like fucking like attacked, like lured people into McDonald's and then attacked them.
No, I did not know about that.
Really?
When
Oh,
did that happen?
he killed like 8 something people. I don't know. It was an amount, but like someone was like yelling at her, like on the balcony, like, go back to where you came from. And like it was either during or just before the attack. So because of you, I have to commit this terror. I can't remember. You can probably find it. It's like just German. He was I think they described him as a tan German male.
Tan German male. Person of colour. Of course, they also look even more stupid when it comes out that he's a Muslim, and obviously it's a telltale sign that they're a Muslim when they don't actually identify their
Yeah.
ethnicity, because they're automatically going to say,
if they-
it's a male, it was a white male.
If they say that, if they don't mention anything about their ethnicity, like if they don't say it immediately, then you could sort of go with the idea that maybe they don't know who it is. But if it's in a like a really busy area, like if it's in like a shopping mall or if it's in an airport or whatever, or
Most likely
or
a
if it's
Muslim.
like been a day or so and like they're still saying they don't know who it is, they're Muslim.
If
Or
it's an
they're-
attack on the
and
streets,
they're
it's a
minority.
Dindu. If it's an attack in a crowded place, it's definitely a Muslim.
Yeah.
And ISIS are encouraging attacks with cars and knives as well.
Because
Apparently.
they know that you can like.
Like, you can easily get past it with gun control. You can easily bypass gun control and still hurt and kill people.
Yeah, they realize like they could get guns anyway because they're just gonna like smuggle them across the border. Or
Ban
whatever.
assault cars.
High capacity assault knife. You know, like
High
oh, no.
capacity assault petrol tank.
Hashtag ban lorries now. Where's your Second Amendment? But
Haha, there is no constitutionally protected right to own a car.
so do you want to continue on to the next point? You wanna try and
I
wrap it
think
up.
we'll do one last thing, I think.
Oh yeah, there is the whole like Pizzagate thing, but
Oh.
honestly, it's on Reddit, and I think the last time I was on Reddit was at least a year ago, probably more. I just don't give a shit. I don't know. R/ the Donald is like all right to visit just because it's funny.
Oh, they're not actually showing that on the front page.
Yeah,
anymore.
but they took like because they were mad because like as like Donald comes out, I was like, what's this? It turns out people actually support Donald Trump.
Oy
Me.
vey.
And like every single front post was from the Donald,
Yeah. Oh, actually,
which
there
I mean,
are
is that's like, you know, it's a good meme.
there are two last points that we should make. One of them is yesterday there was an anti-Semitism act passed through the United States Senate, and it sorry, hang on just a sec. Apparently, it's called the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act, and it gives the Department of Education greater ability to investigate anti-Semitic attacks in colleges. And the way it does that is it redefines it redefines anti-Semitism to be a certain perception of Jews which may be expressed as hatred towards Jews. Rhetorical and physical manifestations of anti-Semitism are directed towards Jewish or non-Jewish individuals and or their property, towards Jewish community institutions and religious facilities.
But don't worry, if you're a Christian running a baker, then you don't get your what's this like religious freedom?
Yeah, and no one cares that it's pretty clearly unconstitutional as well. Like that's, how does that not go against the First Amendment? Like you can't be
Yeah, it's like-
you can't be anti-Semitic anymore.
Like I know, like if, like the idea of like religious protection. If it's something like you're forcing someone to do something that their religion is against. That it's sort of a grey area. Where I don't know, if it's a Christian person and they don't want to bake a cake for a faggot, then
Jewish
I'm fine with
elites.
that. But if it's something like a like I'm perfectly fine with fucking banning like Rabbi Herschel Lieberman, even 7 echoes in his name from biting off the dick of a kid.
I mean, obviously we know who's behind it. Oh wait, wrong drop. Hang on just a second.
Oi vey, oi vey,
I love this.
oi vey, oi vey, oi vey,
Meanwhile,
oi vey, oi vey, oi vey, oi Gewalt.
when you see a bottle rocket flying over the wall in Israel and you get to retaliate with airstrikes and gas attacks.
When you see that Israel's like literally burning to the ground. It's literally become an oven. So yeah, and the worst part is, and the thing that makes me absolutely resent the Senate at the moment, is that it was completely unanimous, this whole thing.
Well, if you voted against it, then they'll just count that as anti-Semitic, and then you just get person votes against anti-Semitic bill because they want to revive Hitler and kill all the Jews.
It's owned by Jews.
It's honestly like, when are they going to drain the swamp? Like, day of the drain, when? Well, okay, I think that's our last major political point. I just wanted to talk about one last thing, and I guess this could be comic relief because honestly, this guy is fucking hilarious.
Memorial for one who has lost. Another showering has occurred.
Yeah, his name.
Terry A. Davis.
Yes, the creator of Temple OS.
If you haven't heard of him, then you need to look. Temple OS is Windows is a botnet. Mac is run by Steve Jobs, who is a Jew. I mean, he's dead, but
it's run by the eternal faggot Tim Cook.
And then, Linus Torvald, who's, I don't know.
Just a cuck.
Yeah, he's a cuck. Temple OS is the true Aryan OS.
It's God's one and only operating system, honestly.
Not only is it an operating system, it is also an oracle, and you can, what other operating system can you speak to God through?
Well, you can't, actually. But the thing is, he got his Twitter completely showered, and it might be because of some of his racist remarks, but I just think that it's good to I think it's good to just show that he's our guy, and that well, let's rattle off some of his tweets for you now, shall we? God said, "We are the Roman Empire and Muslims are barbarians. No white people are Muslim. Islam is for niggers." When I am king by divine right, I will hunt down every CIA nigger and execute him personally.
I'm CIA.
I'm a schizo guy. For you. And, of course, God, I hate Indian niggers.
I really wish I found his, I knew of Terry A. Davis and Temple OS. I just didn't know that, I should have assumed that he had Twitter and looked it up, but no, I didn't manage to get on there until The Purge, so... I've
been following him for a while, and he's fantastic, and he has good points. Between he's got some rambling about programming, I guess, and that doesn't interest everyone. I can sit through it, but and then between that, he's got his rants about everybody else, and I guess some things he say actually have good grounding, especially the CIA dream is a world of big-eyed, dumb, emasculated nigger cattle with no guns and no compiler with code in cloud GitHub and under lock and key. And the first, actually all of it's true because, emasculated, yes. Just take a look at any main cultural centers in any city, and you'll find guys walking around in skinny jeans and faggot beards and horn rimmed glasses and shit like that.
Toxic masculinity. we can't have people being strong or
oh my god, I saw an alpha male and his testosterone made me cry. And honestly, I think the CIA is his just general bad guy. I think what he really means is the Jews. But
I think if he said the Jews in any of those, then
he would probably have committed suicide by now. If you know what
suicide by 7 gunshots in the back of the head.
Yep.
Or for different positions in the back of the head.
Well, it's just he was trying to make sure he was dead.
Yeah, he missed. He missed the wrong part. Hit the wrong part of the brain.
He's schizophrenic. His brain works differently to ours.
Yeah.
And of course, he also does some really good videos. And I think, just to wrap us up, I think we'll wrap it up now because we're just over 2 hours. This is actually the longest show we've ever done. But we'll wrap it up with some drops from Terry, shall we? And we'll see you all next week. And it's been good.
Yeah, see you then.
Somebody's brain would shut down. They'd get all niggerlicious. I see clearly. I am not Jedi mind tricked. That dumb fuck nigger. The little niggers don't know how to do a triangle fill. They're like derp. It's fucking algebra, nigger.